A rainy morning across Western Mass, but things are looking a bit drier for now. Good Tuesday evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Pisano.
And I'm Jordyn Jagolinzer. Icy spots left over from last night have melted by now, but we're not out of the woods just yet.
More winter weather expected in just a few days. Let's send things over now to meteorologist Janna Brown for more on that. Janna?
Well, guys, today we did start off with all that ice this morning. This is a view of some of the treetops in Coleraine. Hunter sent in this picture. Very pretty when you see the ice on all the trees. Luckily, we got, just enough to not cause widespread power outages or anything like that. Blandford saw some good ice. You can see those icicles hanging off that metal post there from Corinne. So thanks, guys, for sending in those pictures. Most of us picked up anywhere from 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. So again, not quite enough to cause power loss. Pittsfield, though, and a few other spots in the Berkshires, anywhere between 3/10 and I've heard as much as 1/2 inch of ice. And again, luckily, it did warm up enough to melt it all fairly quick, giving us a pretty quiet weather day overall. 37 degrees right now. Wind is calm at the moment, but that will be changing shortly. Might even have a few sprinkles, a stray shower coming through, maybe even a few snowflakes in the Berkshires with a passing front. Now with that front is also going to come some increasing wind, which we need in the valley because we're still dealing with some low clouds and fog that is reducing visibilities. Temperature wise, we are getting closer to freezing in the Berkshires. 32 right now in Pittsfield, 34 in North Adams, still middle to upper 30s in the Pioneer Valley. And again, wind is starting to ramp up in the higher elevations as well. Expect black ice to develop as everything refreezes tonight, and tomorrow the sunshine returns, but snow will follow. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Oh boy, Jenna, thanks. And Western Mass News is your vaccine authority. Local seniors are now on high alert after being approached by scammers looking to beat the COVID-19 vaccine system.
That, according to Springfield city officials who are sharing some of the tactics being used to get seniors to bring them to mass vaccination sites. Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo joins us now live in Springfield with more on that. Audrey?
City officials say those tactics pretty much started right after the governor announced the new companion vaccine rule at state-run sites.
That set off a litany of individuals who went to social media and started to fish.
Taking advantage of seniors never sounded so friendly.
We'll pay $200 to assist 75-year-old. Senior over 75 who needs COVID vaccine. Free rides for seniors who need COVID vaccines. Free pickup and drop off.
Those are just some of the social media posts Springfield officials have seen from scammers trying to accompany random seniors to state-run vaccine sites under the guise of being a caregiver. As of last Thursday, state-run sites are now giving companion vaccines to caregivers bringing a senior 75 years and older. City officials are concerned the scammers aren't just looking to jump the line, but also to get a hold of seniors' personal information.
Once an individual has your information and knows about you, they could continue to scam you.
And the number of calls to city officials in less than 1 week's time shows it isn't an occasional occurrence.
We have taken 52 calls since this announcement has been made.
And that's certainly not what that companion was instituted for.
Springfield Police Commissioner Cheryl Claproot says not all the scam efforts are over social media.
There was 1 or 2 reports of the Eastfield Mall of people willing to help as people were trying to stand outside in that line, and we sent cruisers up. We took care of that, and we got people inside.
Her officers working detail at the site are now on watch for people trying to approach seniors on their way into the mall.
I've asked cruisers to watch for that, and I've also asked cruisers to watch for anyone who may be in distress.
Now, the easiest solution, of course, is to not give anybody your personal information who you don't know, and not to let anybody that you don't know accompany you to one of the mass vaccine sites. Now, the State Attorney General's office is asking people to report both social media and in-person instances of the scam. We'll have their hotline phone number for their Consumer Advocacy Division and their website on westernmassnews.com. Live in Springfield, Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.
Audrey, thank you for that live report. Prompt action after Western Mass News uncovered a dangerous situation in Chicopee. Help is now on the way for those left without hot water for days at a Chicopee Housing Authority apartment complex.
Western Mass News reporter Sarah Grinelli joins us live with the exclusive new details. Sarah?
Chris, Jordan, well, we were here yesterday and one tenant let us into her apartment and ran the water, which was cold. And not only that, but the hot water tank was leaking into the hallway right into her apartment. And we called the housing authority, who said today they're taking care of it. Tenants of the Valley View Court Apartments in Chicopee say they were left without hot water throughout the past week.
Día yo tengo que bañarme y eso, el agua está muy fría para mí. Entonces tengo que estar como los gatitos, uno mojándose poco a poco.
Eugenio Colon recently had back surgery. He says not being able to shower has been tough.
Podía meterme a la bañera con agua caliente porque eso es bastante bueno, el agua caliente para los músculos y eso. Bueno, lamentablemente no hay agua caliente aquí.
Western Mass News also spoke with Susan Morin, who is not only frustrated with the lack of hot water, but also with the water tank leaking right into her apartment.
I want hot water whenever I turn on the hot water faucet, no matter what time of day it is. And I'd like the smell to be taken out of my apartment and my carpet dry.
The Chicopee Department of Health ordered the Housing Authority to restore the hot water last Wednesday, but nothing was fixed as of Monday. Western Mass News getting answers directly from the executive director of the Chicopee Housing Authority about what's now being done.
The tank that's going in today, the contractor feels that he understands the situation now, and the brand new tank, the wiring will be done by the electrical component of that company.
Monica Blazik says the lack of hot water has been an ongoing issue since December. They have already gone through 2 water tanks to fix the hot water problem. She's hoping the third will work this time. And for those living in the 8 units inside the building,
they're going to abate their February rent. So if they paid their February rent, it will be applied to their March rent in order to try to, to do something in light of the situation of the on and off hot water issue.
and we were here when the new hot water tank was brought into the apartment building, so it should be just a couple hours for that hot water to fill up inside the tank so people here will be able to take a hot shower. Now, as for Susan, she's being put up in a hotel tonight and her carpets will be clean. Live in Chicopee, I'm Sarah Grinelli for Western Mass News.
Sarah, thanks for that live report. UMass Amherst is still in high risk for COVID-19 after the campus experienced a spike in cases. Right now, there are 354 active cases, which is down about 150 from last Friday.
But the question still remains, will students have to self-isolate after February 21st? Western Mass News reporter Leon Purvis getting answers tonight in Amherst.
I think they should start to lift restrictions. I feel like the self-sequestering is tough, especially people in dorms.
Restrictions remain in place for UMass Amherst students living on and off campus to stop the recent spread of COVID-19. A spike in cases the first week of February prompted the university to institute a stay-at-home order, allowing students to leave only to get food, get tested for COVID, go to the doctor, or exercise outdoors. Western Mass News taking a look at the numbers in the first 2 weeks in February. UMass Amherst has recorded more than 700 positive tests. The highest number of cases in a single day was 125 on February 8th, the day after the self-quarantining order went into effect. Since then, case numbers have decreased 51 new cases last Friday, down to 8 on Tuesday. How will this trend impact a return to normal? A university spokesperson tells Western Mass News in a statement, current restrictions will remain in place until at least February 21st and will only be lifted when public health conditions improve substantially. But some on campus are not happy with the actions taken by the university. The Resident Assistant and Peer Mentor Union writing an open letter to the UMass Chancellor, it says in part, nearly 190 residential life staff members comprising more than 2/3 of all RAs and PMs have voted to declare no confidence in your administration. Our confidence can be restored should your administration meet our comprehensive demands for safety and economic security for all. In the meantime, the president of the Professor Society at UMass Amherst tells Western Mass News it has been a balancing act.
It was really an impossible choice. You know, do you bring people back and risk infection, or do you have everyone remain remote and lose the revenue and possibly lose some students?
A university spokesperson responded to the RA and peer mentor union, saying in part, "We have ongoing discussions with RAs and PMs and remain committed to working with them to have protocols followed that protect our community's public health." Western Mass News will continue to get answers for you here at UMass Amherst, as we'll bring you the very latest, both on air and online, as things develop. For now, in Amherst, Leon Purvis, Western Mass News.
Turning now to the latest coronavirus numbers in our state over the past 2 weeks. For the first time since November, the Massachusetts Department of Public Health is reporting less than 1,000 new cases of COVID-19 cases. That brings the total number of confirmed cases here in the Bay State to more than 531,000. Roughly 42,000 of those are believed to currently be active. The state is also sadly seeing 49 new deaths from the virus. The statewide death toll now stands at more than 15,200.
Governor Charlie Baker today announcing a targeted outreach initiative in 20 communities all across the state. This to support vaccinations in areas most disproportionately affected by COVID-19. The cities include Holyoke and Springfield. The administration also investing $1 million in the Mass League of Community Health Centers. That program's objectives include increasing vaccine confidence and knowledge, distributing culturally relevant patient resources, and partnering with local community-based organizations to help people engage in vaccine conversations.